Hey, I'm back. Yes, I am back for another video because I wound up doing Wendy's video. She won the last reading. And if you wound up landing on that and you resonated with it, well, that was your message as well. However, I'm going to do another message. And this time, this message is going to be what your person's wounds are, how you trigger each other, and how they play out karmically within the relationship. So if you are interested, stick around. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a soul healer channel, which means I do shadow readings. I will look and see how your person, what they really feel, their hidden truths, and what they're going to do. But I like to look and see what the shadows are, what the blocks are, because a lot of times we're in relationships with soulmates, and these relationships could be on, off, on, off. So any soul relationship is karmic because it teaches you. The relationship comes into your life. You have that passion and then that instantaneous connection because they're supposed to be in your life. A lot of times not for the reason that you think. They were supposed to be in your life for you to learn. There's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness determines what your actions are, what your behaviorisms are, and your karma is based on that. So if you want a shapeshift situation, you want to definitely stick around. All right. If you're new to the channel, you want to win a reading with me, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word in your description box. Word today is two words. It's narrow-minded. Narrow-minded people that are narrow-minded, they only see things from their level of perception, and a lot of times it's not accurate. It's based on what has happened in their life, right? It's our environment that creates our reality because our behaviorisms and habits are built on that. So this is why it's important to be open-minded, because there's many different realities. You want to pick the reality that is going to be best for you. So I like to look and see what your inner child wound is. That spirit says that you need to look at calm amid chaos. So I feel like you suffer from anxiety. Feel like a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of because when I see like a storm, like, right, they say like the storm inside is almost like your eyes when you cry. It symbolizes rain, the feelings inside, just that we can almost feel when we're going to emotionally be triggered, right? We can feel that almost before it actually happens. It's like it's little intuitive hits, and those little intuitive hits stir up the mind, stir up a lot of emotions. So you may be someone that has a lot of an overactive mind. You're maybe someone that feels like you're attracted to chaos because you feel like it's not. Sometimes chaos could just be, I feel like I have no order in my life. If you were to look at the person's life from the outside, they could look like they're just a couch potato sitting on the couch, when really they have burnout. They're tired because they're inside of them is really where the chaos is. It's not outside. So the seeking of calmness, needing to integrate. So you could have grown up in an environment that was turbulent, or you just feel like you continuously attract people that stir those emotions up within inside of you. So, and let's look at and see your person. I'm going to pick one card from each. An important end and a new beginning. So your person is in the midst of ending something with an old person. I feel like the problem is that I'm getting this feeling like they never really finish an old, like close out an old. They always tend to like leave one foot in one and another foot in the new world. So there's a sense of them really needing to end it, because I feel like they've been in a karmic relationship for a long time, and it's an important end, because in ending it, they are able to continue completely, like, start a new life. So maybe they were connected to somebody and they had a business with this person. And so it's not just that they're ending it with that person, but they're ending it with everyone that's connected to that person. So this is why it's a really important end. And the reason why is sometimes when we're growing, we're evolving, the same people can't stay in our lives, right? In our environment. So this is why it's an important end, because I feel like your person needs to leave that situation, because it changes their level of consciousness about how they view themselves. So there's a lot of internal things going on. See, in the spiritual realm, it's of the mind. So things are happening sometimes when we don't even feel like things are happening. So if you're in a situation where you're like, nothing's happening, I'm in a stalemate, the person that I'm connected to isn't doing anything, I I'm not going to do anything. You know, there's like, well, calming the sea with chaos could be the fact that this person's triggering you, that they're not around, and it's because they need to finish an end. And so, but my fear is that because it's an inner child wound, it tells me that they need to really finish it and close it out. So the wound could be they didn't feel worthy, they didn't feel good enough. They could be the person that's carrying everybody, or be the person that really does most of the work in their relationship, but they're being treated the worst by their children, by everyone, because they're doing everything. So the why the person needs to really close it out is they're closing out like how they view themselves. It's in getting rid of those people, that situation, and changing it. And for you, I think the separation from this person has created a lot of emotional turmoil within inside of you. And that happens when we get triggered. So again, this person might bring a lot of chaos into your life as well if they don't close out the important cycle. So the inner child wounds would play out again as more chaos, and chaos brings shame, it stress, a lot of stress, and it having an important end could mean it needs to end, because it doesn't just change your level of consciousness, but it can affect money. It can create a lot of things if it's not closed out properly for your person. And when you are connected to someone, you inherit their karma. So you might have done a lot of healing, you might have integrated a lot of wounds and been and on a spiritual journey and be in a good place, but because this person doesn't close out things the way that they should, you would inherit their karma. So those are spiritual wounds you have to look out for. The samskaras that you're dealing with now. And samskaras are just your shadow parts, the parts of you that disassociated from, like, it's anger. So obviously, if like we feel like we are always we could be good people and feel like we do the right thing, but we always are at get the short end of the stick. We always inherit that karma. And so when we feel that things are unfair, and just that's why there's anger, right? Anger is a root chakra imbalance. And so if we're not fully present, we're not fully in the moment, we're not setting appropriate boundaries, we're not because like I said, this person needs to close out their cycle. Their issue is that they like to leave one door open, but both doors open, foot in both places. And that's they don't feel comfortable about truly ending. They're afraid that they're going to make people feel bad. Remember, this person was manipulated for a long time. They have to close out that cycle because it's leaving those people behind. You can't heal in the same place that made you sick. So that's why they have to close it out. Otherwise, they don't just stay sick and bound. It affects your karma. And so it keeps you bound to being angry because it's like, okay, well, this isn't I didn't do anything wrong. I'm connected to you, but you would inherit. So you might be someone that is always the victim. Victim state consciousness happens because we feel it wasn't our fault. Now let's see what they would be. And understand they would also, the person that you're connected to would also be connected through anger. Again, neglect, self-neglect. And this is when self-abandonment, when we don't take action. And that's the thing, this person would be neglecting themselves, caring more about these people's feelings because they feel bad about leaving. They feel bad about fully closing it out and not really like looking at themselves, looking at the consequences that they would cause to themselves and to you. And you would be angry mainly because you were also neglecting yourself, because it's not up to the person that we're with to make decisions in our life. We're a lot of times the victim because we leave it up to somebody else. We assume things are done the right way and when things are not done the right way. But this, like I said, would bind you to being angry and to being in a place of victim state consciousnness. And you definitely don't want to do that because you would definitely then be manic. Manic is like almost like like I'm feeling like very angry and like not have like control. Manic is like I can't sit still because I feel like I need to control. And that's a fear. And the storm happens inside because of stress, which is caused from fear. So you don't want to do that. You want to get to your place of this, where you want to be able to tap into the knowledge and the wisdom. And when I'm talking about the knowledge and the wisdom, I'm talking about the higher self, the spirit part of self, the God part of self. That's gut intuition. It only happens in the now. So if we're, again, so caught up emotionally because we're connected to someone that doesn't close out their situations fully because they're too afraid that they're going to hurt other people. They're neglecting themselves. They're neglecting you, but you have to listen to your wisdom. And you might be like, why am I being put in this situation to have to be like, I feel like I should be able to trust the person I'm with. Spirit's saying is like, you have to trust yourself. If you don't learn to trust yourself, you won't trust any person that comes into your life. And so that means sometimes setting the appropriate boundaries. It means loving yourself. The wound here, the childhood wound, was neglect. And when it plays out as self-neglect. And when we get older, we're not looking for our parents to do it. We tend to look for the people in our lives to do it. But then it only leads to anger. You can't. And then doubt. Right? Because doubt doesn't really come from trusting any person in your life. It comes from trusting yourself. And that's the illusion. Sometimes we get caught up in it. And so people that have shame, which I feel like is what your person has, and people can be manipulated into feeling shame about how they should live. If there's a baby mama that maybe I need to stay with this person. If there's children, maybe I need to. It's usually rules that are built on what society thinks. If someone's abusive to you, someone makes you feel bad, you shouldn't stay in that environment. What I said before is you can't heal in a place that made you sick. This person needs to leave. They need to leave for their own mental health. They don't want They stay, otherwise, it's again disrespected and humiliated. These people just want them for their money. They create, again, gaslighting. How do people get what they want? They show a different perception, and their perception is, but they do it in a manipulative way, and that's what I feel like your person's like, I don't really want to shut that door fully because I'm afraid. No, what they're afraid of is their own higher self. The God part of self is saying, you need to cut it. And yeah, they're going to go ballistic. They're going to go ballistic. But why are you staring at the train that's coming on the track? You're going to stare at the train that's coming? Or are you going to set yourself up? This person's stuck and frozen. So so you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, you're not doing for me. It's going to trigger you. But they're battling their own shit because they don't want to do the wrong thing. They're trying to do the right thing, but in doing the right thing, they're overcompensated because they're not coming from a true sense of self. If we have wounds where we don't feel good about ourselves, then we're going to always care too much about the other person, not care enough about ourselves. And then whoever you're connected to, if they want to manipulate you, yeah, well, they're going to create the illusion to do so, but that keeps you stuck in victim, which keeps you stuck in that childhood wound, which is like, I feel like I always was a good person. I always put out good. I always loved. I would treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And I don't get treated right. And it shows up within my relationships, and spirit saying, well, you're going to get tested. And tested where you got to lay those boundaries. The fear is really, again, of abandonment and love, but you got to give yourself that love first, and that's by standing up for yourself. And it is hard sometimes. So spirit says, what is love? Look at this shit. Like, no lie, what is love? Like the question. So I always ask, I'm like, well, what is love? And it is when it says when you're sad, but you are together with people that support you. In so many words or less, it's like when you're both sad, but you're sad together. These are oracle cards, so we translate them this way. And then this is what it's saying. It's like, well, when you have people that love you and care about you, this is not the person that is stuck to you. If you want them to heal, the unconditional love is unconditional. It can't break, no matter what you think. Now, will the person get mad? Yeah, the person will get mad. They're mad because they're fearful that they have to change. But it's about you loving yourself, because that unconditional love makes that person change. So what is love? Love is when the person needs to learn what love is for themselves. And that is to be true to yourself, is loving yourself. So they're going to learn that they know this, but they're afraid to do it. And this story here, this is your wound. And your wound is really in the fact of, I inherit other people's karma because I do the right thing and then they come into my life and they don't tell me the full story. They shade things a certain way. So Spirit's saying is like, well, what is love? The answer is like, what is love? If you didn't love yourself enough, you would always give too much to other people. So love is me, Spirit says. And you are not here by mistake. You're here by God's design. You have purpose. Your purpose here, your spiritual mission, is to give and receive of love. Everybody's definition of love is different. Everyone's wants and needs are different. Everyone's perceptions of what love is different because, again, their environments were different. Their wants, their needs, their desires were all unique. So when it says, what is love? I would translate that to, you got to figure out what you love to do. You got to become love. And you got to connect to like-minded people that also love the same thing. So they're going to be open to receiving you. And you can't stay in the same environment, and you can't stay stuck to a person that is too afraid to move forward. And when I say that they're ready to prepare, they're leaving. That situation's closed, but there's consequences for not closing it out properly. It's like where that person that they're connected to would abuse you. Not that the person that is coming towards you would do that or even knows that they would do that. They're not thinking about that. They're only thinking about themselves. So you inherit people's karma because people don't consider you. And that would be, again, of not disrespect. It's disrespect. When really, you know better. You know better. It's about, like, again, not neglecting yourself. It's trusting your own intuition and so put your energy into love. Because you're not manipulating anyone when you invest the time and energy into what you love and connecting to like-minded people that also like to do what you like to do. See, that's what that means. It's like when you both are sad, but you're sad together. Well, this person would be sad because you're not with them. You'd be sad because you're not, you want to be with them too, but you want them to rise up. The difference is that you wouldn't be sad because you would be in a group of people doing what you love, investing your time, feeding yourself, which is, when I say feeding, getting the emotional support, attention. And that is what gets you through. And that inevitably is what would make this person realize what is love to them. And love is not being bound. That if I love this person, I'm not going to be bound to the people that are abusive to me. I'm going to be I want to be connected to the person that I love. So that's really why it says that, because it's like when you're both sad, but you're sad together. That's what love is, meaning you're both on the same page. You both want the same things. Where the question here is like, what is love? Now, for you, it needs to be, I love myself because I can't create anything good in my life unless I love myself and give myself the love. And to the person that you're connected to, they need to be like, I love this person. So being that I love this person, I need to not care so much about hurting the people that don't really care about me, that disrespect me, why I'm leaving to begin with. Otherwise, everyone stays in anger. But the karmic lesson for you is, again, to learn the knowledge and wisdom. And that, I think, is once you act on it and you see what you avoid, that's when, because this person that I feel like you're connected to, really, they need to, like, they're going to come to you, they're going to pretend almost like everything's done in their life, and it's not. Whether they're connected to a karmic mate and a karmic family, not just a karmic mate, that they need to, like, really, like, end whatever that is. Otherwise, you are going to inherit a shitload of karma that keeps you stuck in this betrayal, in this hurt, all just because, like, you trusted this person and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope that this message resonated, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.